something I had to learn over the years of giving my life to the Lord is that I am not that strong to stop the Lord's plan. I'm just not, right? And, when I used to live in my flesh, when I used to live in independence from God, I took offense to hearing that I'm not that strong. You can't do it by yourself. You can't make this thing work. You cannot make the Lord's will work without the Lord, right? But now that I live in the spirit, now that I don't live by my flesh, it's a freedom to hear that I'm not that strong to ruin what the Lord has planned, right? And what I mean by that is you do not have to force things to happen. They're going to happen if the Lord destines them to happen. That means that you do not have to force that job to work out. You do not have to force that relationship to come. You do not have to force those kids to return. You do not have to force that house to be yours. You don't have to force that car to be yours. You do not have to force your baptism. You do not have to force any of it, right? It will drop in your lap when it is the Lord's will, okay? And I say it's a freedom to hear that because it allows you to get out of the Lord's way. It allows you to say, you know what, I'm actually human and I'm not that strong. I can't do it. The Lord has to. Because why would you want to take the responsibility of the Lord? It's hard to be God. I can only imagine. It's very hard, right? So when you're trying to be God and you're trying to be this, have this savior complex of, I have to make this person come to the Lord. I have to make this job work out. I have to buy this car and figure it out how I'm going to make it work. I have to force myself to get 3 jobs because I can't pay for my finances. I have to make, this relationship work because I want marriage so bad. When you try to force things when it's not God's will, it's just going to crumble. It's going to crumble. And when you realize when it's God's will, it will literally just come to you. You don't have to force it. There's no nudging. Yes, there's going to be warfare when it comes to it. Of course, there's going to be warfare. The devil doesn't want it, right? But you don't have to force it. And it allows you to release this stress you put on yourself of trying to be God, of trying to be this savior for everything and everybody, right? Because one thing about the Lord, he's not going to move on your behalf if you keep trying to get on his throne. You have to get off of his throne. You have to get out of that seat. That's not your seat. You have to stop trying to be God because you're not God. And when you live in the flesh, that sounds offensive to say that I'm not as powerful as God. I'm not God. For the people that think that because God is within us, we are God. We are gods and goddesses. We're not. And it's relieving to hear when you live in the spirit, to hear that I am not God and I can't do it by myself. That means that I have to let go of all options, all of the things that I'm trying to do. I have to let go of all of it. I have to simply surrender to the Lord and he'll do it. Because again, one thing about the Lord, he's not going to do it when you're trying to sit in his seat. He's going to wait for you to get up, move yourself from his throne, and he's going to sit in his seat and he's going to do what he has to do. Right? And that's just a metaphor. Don't ever think that the Lord will ever get off his throne, because he will not. He will never get off his throne for nobody. But it's just... Thought somebody was shooting, but it's just fireworks. Okay, anywho. So yeah, last thing I'm going to say is you have to learn to just stop trying to be God. You have to get yourself off of his seat, let him sit down, and do what he needs to do. Because one secret that I'll tell you, which really isn't a secret, it's in the Bible, the devil tries to do that same thing. He tried to steal the Lord's chair. He tried to be God. He wanted to be the all-knowing and all-powerful God. And he simply couldn't. You want to know why? Because he is a creation. He is not the creator. He will never be the creator. And we are no better than the devil when we try to do the same thing that the devil does. So, yeah, if something is meant for you, it will be. And if it isn't, it simply won't be. But you do not have to force the Lord's will, and you're not that powerful to ruin the Lord's will, no matter what you do.